A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Quebec. Please. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove. You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door, old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years since this was painted. It leads to a side building, adjacent to this one. The old building next to this, half ruined. The door does not budge.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
The winch, outside, in the backyard. Remember? No? Your fingers do.
Well, if there was a winch, I suppose we could look into it.
It's hardly a side investigation. You already have a name for it.
If you say so, Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Can I help you? Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for...
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Okay then. Maybe you're callous yourself.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please. What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and all...
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept.
Oh yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so what?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question. First we find your body is ready, sire.
Yes, have you got it? For the drinks, 30 real. Like what? I was rarely enjoying...
I can't believe it's snowing again. It felt like springtime just a few days ago. Well, this might be the last snow we get. At least I hope so. Snow has nutrients in it. Helps everything green up in the spring. At least that's what my grandma...
Yes, think about the cute grandma, not the weird snow.
Nitrogen and sulfur mostly. And whatever factories and aerostatics exhale too, I guess. A bit much? What are you talking about?
She feels interrogated now. It's hard to say if she's lying.
Relax, miss. This is not an interrogation. We are just checking some facts.
Stop looking at her. Look around. What do you see? That's right. And the canal, the bookstore, the harbor gates. This is a great vantage point for keeping...
No, of course not. I don't understand what this is about. The kid did this, right? The red-haired rat? Can't say a sentence without or kipped. He's always giving me trouble. It is because he sent you to harass me, didn't he? You shouldn't listen to him. It was probably him who wrote that.
You've been resting here for quite a while, haven't you?
Yes, I'm tired.
I understand. The RCM isn't welcome here, and the locals want to keep an eye on us.
There's silence, the smallest of smiles.
That's okay, miss. Do what you have to do. I think we're done here. Let's go.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings. The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and a large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The pendant features a sun crowned with wavy ray. It is a seal of Royalist-era Revachol. The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into a book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large, muscular man. The title...
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy. Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
There he is, in front of Rita, smoking nervously, hoping it's over.
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you? The little boy had a good on his promise. To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me, pardon the choice of words, not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes. I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part. I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia. Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves. I would leave some for them, and I would leave the boots to processing, but okay. Let's find all of it.
It's implied he finds it unlikely that you will succeed in.
And Mesqui's epic then, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you. It's a minor nuisance. It's all good. No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way. Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
The coin narrowly slips by your outstretched fingers and falls.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing we harbor folk do, passing around cargo and such. Was not meant as provocation or ridicule.
The boyadero stares at you with respect, then gestures towards.
Right, always glad to help out the RCM. We're on the same branch, you and I. Humans, I mean, not slithering scabs. I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
From another planet. Hey there. It's the jam, my man.
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oils, heavy metals and other byproducts of the modern era.
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitated. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days. Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil.
Mazout is an antiquated term for heavy fuel oils. This man has a barely suppressed performative streak, or he just likes unusual words, or both.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already. So tell me, what do you need? It's like, whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands.
Going on strike would probably help you dodge a bullet or two.
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. Us lorry drivers, camionneurs, you still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
He tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior.
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries.
Ask for his conclusion.
A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees. Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms.
Relax. He's merely joking.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grad and the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately. This rockin' beauty. Sure is, like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe.
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy. Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay for unfinished work. The bosses, man. Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. If I had, say, 4 myself. Don't be a stranger.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Sir, officer. What's the number? And the make of the armor, if you know it. Got it. I'll contact the ICP database immediately. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have dug up something.
The International Collaboration Police, ICP, is an inter-Isolari law enforcement service. The crown jewel in the moral intern.
57's over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers. This trash container is locked. With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It shouldn't. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. Just a feeling. A warning from some part of you.
No, we need to investigate now.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
You see milk, an egg rest with one broken egg in it, some pasta wrapper. Picking up, you've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows, the methodology in your fingers. No, searching for evidence in the trash. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Baptiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below, and turbo noodles. Nothing of note. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of... As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when you dropped them in here, officer. Guitar-marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an...
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
The fuck's he on about, kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or...
See? Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose...
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into it's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out.
Officer, is that your paperwork? It is. Look, the plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? Well, lucky we found it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of the RCM's adversaries. Organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes. It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man, only in its social sensibility. The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 40. The man before you is naked, but for a bit.
I'm gone. Into the wild pale yonder. In the past. Way out in the west. I'm a joke. Look at me. There is nothing funny about jokes either. A killer. A motherfucker. Go ahead, Coppo. What do you mean? It's the power of your imagination. Go ahead. Ask me more questions. Because you're a copperoony. Look at all of them go. Coming right up. Copperoony Rooney. Fuck no. You're no Rooney. Between you and me, your name is probably... You might be onto something there. Because you have loved it, me and Brother Copo. It was love all along. Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you looking at my face, motionless, looking into my eyes, standing here? Why are you investigating my murder?
Something is on its way. Something hidden. It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands.
Do I remind you of someone?
A child born with Muller's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
You sure wriggled out of that one, Coppolini. Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in...
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once it's done. The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of...
He doesn't actually think the challenge is unique. He thinks it's frustrating and not...
The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material. Someone else? You mean like the police? Sadly, yes. The whole RCM is out there right now, doing the exact same thing we are. Are we in a rush to help them? Not really. I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we have a growing sanitary concern here. We need to get him down, fast. Climb up there and saw the branch? There has to be a less risky way, with less falling down of trees. I was really hoping we wouldn't. The Union appeared to be suspect in this case. It seems like a dangerous route to go down.
I would really prefer if there was another way. These people might have an agenda. But what other options? The corpse twists on the belt.
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
How?
Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch. That's a good spot to aim.
Where? Ah, yes, I see. If the shot hits that, there might...
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain the Kuno.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss Kuno!
Silence. With his elbow sharp, the lieutenant and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks, securing it in place. That's a Kiel A9090 Armistice, mass-produced muzzleloader, ascetic, frugal. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of
God damn it.
A lot of things were wrong with that shot. The fellow's desk was the wrong choice. His shoulders were raised, but above all,
Fucking idiot!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he? Kuno's sorry too. Kuno feels sorry.
the lieutenant doesn't say a word, just looks at the gun.
I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance.
You know, you don't feel like too bad of a shot yourself.
Fuck does Kuno care? Pig, do you have any idea how fucking stupid that's at? Kuno's cruising his bitch on the town, and the bitch comes back griefing to the Kuno.
Get the fuck out of here, fat ass!
The pants are totally okay. Don't listen to her. She's trying to give you body image problems.
So? Fuck, okay. Kuno's a giver like that, yes?
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like...
Look, Pig, Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on. What is this? Trying to be cool with your new asshole? Kuno was just being nice to you. You got fucked after this shit. You better have something real interesting to say.
Yeah, real interesting.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
The man before you is...
Yes, we do. It's bad as it is. Us shooting firearms like punks. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you. Just don't lose it.
They only have one.
This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever...
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana boyka. Take it.
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the guard. You've held this, an A9 Armistice, before. At some point, it probably used...
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell to shoot himself in...
The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely two-dimensional. The metal buckle glimmers, the slow movement of the branch in the wind, and your shoulders directing the gun sink up, dancing hypnotically.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
The buckle explodes into tiny pieces, coming loose with a whir. With your hand numb from the recoil, you look at the body slumped down. For a moment, looking straight at you, helpless, trapped within itself.
Communism.
It takes a millisecond for the association to flash within your cortex. You have no idea where it's coming from. Only then, the rigor in his muscles gives up, and he smashes sideways into the spring mud, letting out a horrid stench.
Ace is high.
The Ace is High, a custom invented by the aerostatic brigades during the revolution, is used to celebrate success in Revachol. Especially, you could add an Ace's Low to it, if you like, by turning your back after the high and waiting for another. The high arrives with a sharp slap. As you turn around, there is a moment of doubt. Feels like that low and chill. It's gonna connect, but then it does, and with furious precision. The lieutenant is not one to leave an Ace's Low hanging.
I knew these guys were
We will perform a field autopsy and determine the cause of death. But before... Excuse me.
Slumped on the ground like that has not improved the way the corpse smells. The fall seems to have released something deep.
The stench is getting bad. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. I need a little breather before we do the autopsy. In the meantime, we should try to interview Everard Clare, the leader of the Union. Harbor property was clearly used in the hanging. The harbor just east of here. Or we could ask around for the representative of the logistics company. My initial information says the Wild Pines have sent some sort of strike negotiation.
You could ask the gardener for directions.
Yes. And those were the interviewees. Let's go.
The tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing. As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses. Ankles tingling from the tension, blood roaring in your ears. You are ready for your rendezvous. As the concrete floor welcomes you, you realize it's been a while since you felt so alive, alert, capable.
I knew you could do it. My climbing down might not have been as disco as your jump, but at least we can...
With your feet firmly planted on the concrete, the noise of the harbor. This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, "Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather."
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man is young, dark-skinned, and dressed in a royal carriage.
Why did you take that? Fine. But let's move. I don't want to be seen snooping around here.
The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat. So stale air floods through your nostrils. Not a single mote of dust floats inside your lungs, though. The drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold some cheap painkillers.
I'm not here to tell you what to do, detective.
You take the painkillers. They are yours now. Oh boy, where to start? Elevated risk of dementia, mini strokes, prophet's disease, sudden death, hair death, erectile Don't think about that. Quick, think about something else. The enormity of the case before you dwarfs the list of side effects. You can't even see the side effects anymore. You stand and exit the booth. On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly
It's unfortunate for the union to just leave their paperwork lying around like...
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol, Couron, Coal City. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines, whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. It appears to be a to-do list written in large, "Remember, Leo, Everard's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everard's plants." All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it.
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list. The drawer slides shut. An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side. The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Right now, your finger is just drawing vaguely occult patterns in the... Undoubtedly, no. Sure, why not? Muscle memory is a tricky thing. 2 buttons marked Marsh and Arrête are faded with use. Marsh. On. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. With a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, moving this container, of course. For this purpose it was built. For this purpose.
I can't see how that was worth the ruckus, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
No screech of metal when the crane does not return to it. Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
You do? Because I don't. There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? It's a cargo container, detective, just like all the others. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to interview the union boss.
No reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like there's anything in. You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanical. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. With a mixture of expectation and impatience.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a toy.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some.
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's
excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great. So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the...
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world.
By the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have... This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man.
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me? Or...
No.
Cool? I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure there are cooler things than delivering a comically oversized novelty check to a cafeteria manager. But, sure, if that's what's cool now. Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only 2 words is when he said, "Don't worry." He actually meant.
Are you all right, Harry? You say you got this, but you seem a little anxious. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouth.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels. Who does this guy think you are? Ronnie the Rookie? You ain't worried about no lost gun, or unpaid bill, or forgotten name. You're the bad cop. You're probably more. Fuck yes. You're part of the old guard, the ancient guard, the most corrupt, unholy cops in the land. The fat man does the same, sinking deeper into his chair than one would think is physically possible. Good. Now lean in with some corruption.
That we do, Harry. Let them say what they will about you and me. We're both born fighters. Why, thank you. It's always nice when a fellow professional...
That's it. Now kick back and add a final flourish for dignity.
You strike me as a reasonable man, Harry. I like that in a lawman. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? What?
I think we'd like to ask you a few questions. Don't you think so, Detective?
Somehow you managed to get yourself out of this one. Whatever you do, don't ask him about the gun first. You don't want him...
Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age... You did look like you were gonna collapse and die when I told you about your lost gun. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to... Of course, let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard.
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his...
So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out.
Words flow like a river of honey from his lips. I guess word has already reached him. No matter. It's just a brown folder. You can't make out what's written on it.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
This translates into... Haha, you...
I find that very suspicious.
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those...
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolute...
He got the name from the Census Bureau. And everything else from your actions here in Martin.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man. So is there...
That means he doesn't really know anything about you. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to discuss it with you. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to... But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors.
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen.
Come now, I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the arch-liar, pretend to play into his hand. Then, should you wish, bend his efforts.
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look...
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what? Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about. A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you. Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level. You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker, too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. What? Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here. You're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.